Yeah, good morning, everyone. So you practiced all these bootstrap options, carousel and everything, huh? Right. Last session we designed this carousel. So we learned how to use this carousel, creating the carousels with all the options. Huh? Right. Next important, after understanding about carousels, what are the bootstrap related components we learned? Bootstrap related components we learned alerts. We learned about alerts. We learned about badges, right? Right. So badges and collapse, buttons. What else? Accordion, carousel. Only these cards. We learned about cards. Huh? So these are the components we learned. So alerts, badges, collapse, buttons, accordion, carousel, cards, and few more 1-2 options I will explain. Others you have to try by yourself, right? There are so many components. You can try other components. I will show you from where to get help. You need to practice those, right? Because all these components, nobody teaches you. 1-2 components, if you are aware, others you have to try by yourself, right? Important components I am explaining. Other components you can try, right? Another important in the components, we have a component that is drop down. Drop down is a component, and what is difference actually is HTML provides drop down by using select. What is drawback? One drawback we discussed about it. What is the drawback? What is the drawback of drop down provided by HTML? Drop down menu. What is the drawback? You remembered we discussed that it is RC data type. RC data type means you cannot configure with icons, symbols, right? Icons and symbols. That is one drawback we discussed. Only alphabet, numbers, special characters only allowed. Symbols and icons are not allowed inside a drop down. We discussed the RC data type. So you cannot configure with icons and symbols. You saw already Netflix, na? In the Netflix drop down, usually we will have a it's taking time. Yeah. In this Netflix drop down, you can see here there is a symbol, a globe symbol is there. This type of drop down we cannot create in HTML. Already we learned that we cannot design. Then what you can do is, so bootstrap drop down. So drop down allows, bootstrap drop down allows, or you can say symbols and icons. Allows symbols and icons. But one drawback is there in bootstrap drop down. Actually, bootstrap drop down is not good for dynamically adding and removing items. Dynamically adding and removing items. It is not good for dynamically adding and removing items. That means, for example, we have a drop down where items will be changing. Changing means, suppose here are the items changing in this drop down. In this drop down, items will not change, fix. Only 2 will be there. Every day, every time you open, only 2. Very rarely, suppose after 6 months, 7 months, they introduced one more language, then it will change. This is a standard one, fixed list. But you see, for example, Inox movies. So suppose when you open this website, so here we have some drop downs you can observe. Yeah, you can observe here. Here also we are having drop downs. But these drop downs are not standard. These drop downs are not standard. They will be changing. That means every few days a movie comes, a new item should be added. Show timings must change. It is not stable. In that case, here they don't need any symbols and icons. They need only a list. And that list can change dynamically. So if a list have to change dynamically, then better use which one? HTML dropdown. If there is a static list which will not change regularly, but it needs some icons, symbols, then better you go with the bootstrap dropdowns, right? For that, you have options like actually classes. We have classes like drop down. We have like drop up. We have like so drop end. We have like drop start. It is not only drop down. You can drop up. You can drop end. You can drop start. It is available with various directions. And we also have drop down items. Drop down items will be there. In drop down items, you can have a drop down item. In that, you can have a drop down text. Actually, you can have a drop down text and drop down link. Drop down link. So these are all drop down related options. So we have drop down and start items. Actually drop down uses, it have to open and close. That means it uses the combination of collapse also. Collapse is required because collapse opens and close. Right, we have to use a collapse option for showing and hiding the items. Lot of changes are there in the drop downs. Changes means version wise. Previously drop down was different, but now latest version drop down is very much different. So many new things are there. If you look at old version notes in any website, means actually several websites are still showing old version only. You will see drop down with a lot of other concepts, but now latest version of drop down is changed very much. You don't need to try all the old techniques. It's very simple and easy to use now. Earlier very lengthy, but now it became very simple. Actually, how to create a drop down, you see, let's copy all this. Every bootstrap related file I will give drop down. Yeah, every bootstrap file scripts and css are same. Okay, let's keep a heading like drop down, and here we are creating a class div. This div is using the class as, we are using the class as drop down. Drop down, this is drop down, and in the drop down generally you will not see anything. When you run this drop down, you cannot see anything here. I am using here a small button. This is actually having an option called language. It is a normal button. It should work like a drop down button. It should work like a drop down button. Then we have to use a class for this. Usually class will be drop down here, header. We have a drop down header. Drop down header is actually the header buttons. They will display an header button. Actually, header can be defined in so many ways. For example, we will keep a header first and we will keep button. I told you various techniques are used. That means I will keep here a div in that button, and for this we are using a class. This class is drop down header. Drop down header. In that header we have a language option available. Suppose here we are using a class. This is button class. Ordinary button classes we can use. So like btn and btn primary, these are the button ordinary classes. So, but here we need to configure this as a drop down button. Here you can put a symbols. Symbol means what? Span, class, bi some globe like this, and it will display like this. These symbols and icons you can put along with combinations. Suppose btn dark, then it will display in this way, right? Actually, this is to be used as a menu item. So we have drop down, and here we are having a drop down header. Earlier in old version, we need to put a collapse, and that collapse should open and close when button is clicked. That makes like a drop down. Old version, but now so much changed. I will show you. I told you how to check the old versions. Na? You have to visit Get Bootstrap website. Here current version is 5.2 right side. You have to check the old version. What is the old very popular version? 4.6. Earlier in several projects still they are using it. Currently I will show you documents. Remember, these you need to keep in touch regularly. Why? Because every day they are not same. Today you may be writing notes. After few days those options will change. You can't follow these notes same after 1 month or 2 months. If new version is not released, okay, but a new version is released, you need to check what changes they made, because these components are not standard. They will be keep on changing. You see in the drop down, you have here drop downs. The drop downs, they will have these options. You see, this is the drop down link. Actually, this is the drop down way, and the drop downs are defined. So you see, these are the drop downs available. For that, creating a drop down is done with a lot of combinations, as I already told you. I will tell you different combinations, how people use to design this. This is drop down. Here you see in these drop downs. So these are the combinations. Here there is no collapse. You see the old version here. Means I will show you here old version. Yeah. So here old version. Which one? 4.6. You can see in this old version, where is the component? Yeah. In the components, we have a drop downs here. You can see here in the drop downs, these options are changed a little bit. You can see you have drop up, drop right, drop left. But as I told you, now we are not having this right and left. No more right and left. Right and left are changed to start and end. Start and end. And actually, they use a lot of unordered list and ordered list. See, you see here lot of anchors are there. For creating items, we use anchors. Now, in the latest version, what they recommend is, means items, don't directly mention the items. In the latest version, they prefer ordered list and unordered list. Without that also you can design, but in latest version they say that if you use an ordered or unordered list, performance will be better, because we designed for ordered list and unordered list. Earlier, people have to directly write these items. They have to directly write those items. So that, and one more is, see, there is an option, data toggle. This is now changed. What is it? Data BS toggle. Data BS toggle. BS, data BS target, data BS toggle. So if you are verifying anything on internet, once check which version you are verifying. See the version of content they have given, and according to that you have to implement. Your library version is 5. Companies, almost 95% companies are still using Bootstrap 4. Bootstrap 4. Very recent projects only using Bootstrap 5. That is the reason you should be very careful. Whatever you learned, you cannot directly implement there, because their version is different. You have to check that. So drop down have changed a lot. Now this button should be clickable. Then for that, we have a separate class called, this button can be given as a class called, this uses a class called drop down toggle. Drop down toggle is used for giving a button like this. That is drop down toggle button. Toggle button will give an arrow. So in the drop down, so we have drop down. Let's change this. We have one more. What is it? Let me keep it here. Drop down what? Toggle. Toggle is used for which one? Button. It is used for button. Observe carefully. I given drop down. Instead of that, I can give drop up. If I give drop up, arrow will be upside. Not only arrow, menu also will open up. But very important, will it open up or right depends on is there any space or not. Simply writing up will not open up. There must be some space above to open up. Otherwise, even you give up, it will open down. Open down. That means you have to design according to the space availability. For example, see now how to create items below it. So we are creating here button, and we are creating this class. This contains, the class contains drop down menu. Inside drop down menu, we have drop down items. Earlier you saw old version, they have to design like this, but in the new version, they recommend to do by using an unordered list. In the unordered list, what you can do? In the unordered list, you can put a list item. Here I will put English. So here I will put some Hindi. Actually, this Hindi must be in Hindi. Then you know Google Translate now. So you have Google Translate. Google Translate. You can open Google Translate. In Google Translate, you can enter English, Hindi. It will be translated into the target language is Hindi. It is Hindi. You can select any target language you want. And this you can copy and you can paste that here. Directly that language content will come here. So we can directly put that. Okay. Now these are considered as class. Every option is drop down item. We have to define as drop down item. Class we have to use as drop down item. Drop down item. Now inside the item, to keep a good alignment, this you can put in a span and you can put here as class drop down text. You can keep as drop down text. Okay. Same here also, we will put a span. And here we will put a class called drop down text. Drop down text. We are defining like this. Now you can see a drop down will come here. And here this button should open drop down, right? Then what you can do for this, we have to use data BS toggle. Toggle what? Drop down. It should toggle the drop down. It should toggle the drop down. Then I click on that, drop down should open here. Data BS toggle drop down. Actually, where is it? Drop up. Yeah, it is drop up. Na? We will give it as what? Drop down item should be changing. It should be inside. Header is separated now. We will use this button. Now it is fine. Actually, we don't need an header when you are giving a button, right? Yeah. Now you see we have a drop down and a drop down menu. When I click on this, the items will open here. Now I click again to simple drop up. They will not open up. They will not open up. They will open down only because there is no space up. If there is space up, let's put some heading above. I keep some headings above. Now there is some space up. It will open up. You can also give drop end. You can also define drop end. Drop end means right side will come. It will open right side. We can open in any direction. We can open in any direction. Default it is configured as what? Default it is configured as drop down. You can use any direction. You cannot create nested drop downs. Nested drop downs, for that you need JavaScript and jQuery. Nested drop down means inside the drop down another drop down menu wise. So that means electronics in electronics. So some mobiles in mobiles, some other category, level by level. So for that we need little bit knowledge of jQuery and JavaScript. Here we can just design a simple drop down. So we have a drop down and the drop down items. Colors and all your wish, how you want to apply. So drop down menu, we have like a drop down menu dark. We can apply the menu. Your wish, you can define any. And for every item, you can put a symbol. Actually, drop downs have, so we have a class called drop down divider is there. Drop down divider is present. After the divider, you can help. So help question. And here we are using class as drop down text. We are defining drop down text. And here we are defining class as drop down item. And you can see it will display a separator will be there. Divider means a separator will come. A light separator is present between them. This is a drop down menu. Now with this, you can design like Netflix like menus easily. Why? Because here they are not HTML drop downs. Here you can add any symbols. Suppose for help, what we do, we are adding another span class. We have BI help. So question circle is there. And I'm using that question circle. It will give like this. These are drop downs that you can create by using Bootstrap. Actually, they can be link style, clickable. When you click, they can open the concerned contents. We can create nested drop downs. For that little bit JavaScript and jQuery you will learn later. You can handle that. Means we call them as nested drop downs or cascading drop downs. You have cascading also. Cascading means I selected one category. The category related items will open right side, level by level. Such things all through JavaScript and jQuery. Here you can only design a drop down. So you have drop down, drop up, drop end, drop start. We have drop down. Actually, items are defined as menu. In the menu, you will have an item, you will have a text, you will have a link. Drop down toggle. Another one, we have a drop down divider. Just we have seen drop down divider. And what is the attribute we have to use? Only one attribute is used here. Data BS what? Toggle. It should use what? Drop down. That's it. This is the basic, right? Example I will give you here. Let's paste this example. This is an example for drop down. This is same like how you saw the drop down on Netflix. The same Netflix like drop down we can create here. We just added one extra option, language, in that they can choose those items, right? So if a list is standard, it is not changing regularly, then better use Bootstrap. But if a list is changing regularly, don't use Bootstrap. For that, you have to use HTML, right? That is drop down. Next important, in the components, we have another important component, model. We have another component called model. Model is nothing but it is used to design dialog box for web page. Dialog boxes for web page. Dialog boxes are nothing but actually dialog can pop up. Dialog can pop up content in page. It can pop up a content in the page. For that, you need dialogs. Model is used for creating dialog boxes for dialogs. For example, means what are the classes required? We have model, we have model dialog, we have model content, we have model header, we have model body, and we have model footer. That's it. These are important. Model have a model dialog, model content, model header, model body, and footer. These are classes. Classes. Attributes same. Actually, attributes, we need data BS target. We need data BS toggle. We need data BS dismiss. Dismiss. These are required. One is target, another toggle, another dismiss. Already we know target, toggle, dismiss we used in alerts. Same type here. What is difference between alert and model is, alert is actually inside page, embedded into page. Model pops up on the page. You can see. Actually, model classes, some more are there. Actually, other classes we have, these are optional. Model dialog centered. So we have like model dialog, model full screen. These are there. These are optional, not mandatory. Situation wise, people try them, use them according to requirements. But the basic classes are these. Basic classes are these. Let's see how to design that. There is very important order for this. I will show you. Let's create a page model.html. Okay. And in this, we are pasting some content here. Yeah. I will just keep a heading here as models. Okay. And this is models. Here, I'm just giving a button, say login, class BTN, and BTN login. So BTN primary. Okay. Now when user clicks login, a login screen should open. We can design alert. Alert is embedded into the page. Instead of alert, below the button, we will create a container. For this, we will keep a class called model. For this model, we will give an ID as login. And actually, while designing model, we have an order. Inside model, first you have to keep a model dialog. You have to keep a dialog, model dialog. Compulsory. If you miss the order, it will not work. Order is very important. First model, inside model dialog. Inside model dialog, we have to design the class model content. Inside model content, you have three sections: header, body, and footer. We will keep a class model header. Header, I will give a heading. Here say user login. And I will put some span and a class bi person fill, like this I given. Okay. Beside class BTN close. It is a close button. On this button click, it should close. That means we have to just define data BS dismiss data BS dismiss. Which one? Model. Okay, this is header. Next, we are designing the class as model body. In the model body, let's create a simple login screen, right? So I will put a data list, data term, username, data definition, input type is equal to text. Class as form control. Another data term, password, and data definition, input type is equal to password. Class as form control. Okay, after the body, we will design the class model footer. In this, we will put a button login. So class BTN primary. And I will put another button called cancel. So class BTN danger, like this I define. On cancel also, model should close. So data BS dismiss what model. Okay, now this model you cannot see on page. Page is currently empty. If you remembered in the beginning of HTML body section elements, I told you dialog. There is aside, article, dialog. You have observed when we tried dialog is not shown in the page unless we use open. Dialog requires an attribute called open. These models also will not display until or unless you open them manually. How to open? On login button click, they should open. So here we have to give data BS target. Target is what? Hash login. Model to toggle. Now you can see here, when I click on this login button, a login pop-up will come. This is model. This is called model. And when I click cancel or close, automatically it will close. These are pop-ups. That means you click, the model will open like this. And when it opens, we can put with a small animation, we can put model as fade. Then it will open slowly. and it will close slowly. You can click and it will open slowly. These are called models. These are models with pop-ups. So this cancel is working because we written dismiss. Actually, when you design model, where is model dialog? Yeah. Here you can keep model dialog centered. Model dialog centered, then you open, it will be center screen. Otherwise, it is displaying top screen on the top screen. So you have an option called model centered. Centered will keep it to the center screen. We have an option called model full screen. Actually, instead of centered, for this model itself, where is class model? This is the class model. Here we are giving model as full screen. When you say model full screen, it will open full screen. That means where to open content dialog na? Where is dialog? Here there is the dialog, model. And you can see it opens full screen. That means the window opens full screen. When you click on that, it will open full screen. Dialog opens full screen. If I don't define that, then it will be displayed as a portion of the screen. Right? You can optionally put model full screen. We can put model dialog centered. So we can put model dialog scrollable. Model dialog scrollable. If more content is there, otherwise it will not work, right? That means suppose I'm using generally here username, password, like that. If there are so many fields, if so many fields are there, then model will open like this. We have to scroll the page up and down. Scrolling page up and down is not good. Then what we can do is we can simply put here model dialog scrollable. Model dialog scrollable. Then automatically the model will open like this. You can scroll here inside the dialog, not page. If there are many items, then you can display in this way. You can have multiple models in a page. You can have multiple models in a page. That means, so for example, so here some important, you can define multiple models in a page. You can define multiple models in a page, more than one model. For example, suppose here I will put another button. I have kept another button. This button is using some text as preview, product preview. Product preview. For this, I will put the class BTN success. Okay. For this, another model is required. You can design model anywhere. After this login, I will create another model. Where is this one? Yeah, this is login actually. After this, we'll create another model. So this is preview model. I will put a comment. This is preview model. Okay. Just we have to create a div class as what? Model. Fade ID is equal to preview. How to create a model? The order is important. First, it will use a model dialog. Inside the model dialog, it have to use a model content. Inside the content, we will have a header. Model header. In the header, we will put a heading as suppose some winter jacket like this. And I will put here a button. So class, this is having a close, class as btn close. Data bs dismiss, dismiss. It should dismiss model. Okay. Below the header, we will just give a class. What is it? Model body. In that, I am giving a, we can design a simple div. Class, I will give the class as card. And in that, we will have another div class as card header. In that, we have an image. Image source is equal to dot dot slash public images. So jacket, so height as 200, class as card image top. Like this we are designing. Inside the header, I am defining data list, data term, some price, data definition, so price, and some stock and data available. Like this we are designing. There is no footer, only header and body are there. This model preview should open when user clicks on product preview button. That means here what we have to do, data bs target. Target is hash preview. Data bs toggle. Toggle is what? Model. So there can be more than one. Product preview, it will open like this. So you click on close, it's not working because dismiss is not given. So for this, we have to data bs dismiss spelling wrong, right? And you can see I click on this, it will close. I click on this, login will open. You click on this, it will open. So there can be multiple models, but one problem is here, you cannot define nested models. So it is not supported from version 5. Actually, earlier we used to design. Means inside model, another model will come. That means inside a pop-up, another pop-up will come. But now we are not allowing. 5 version, they blocked it. Because browsers are not supporting such nested windows, they are not supporting. Model inside model means what? It is nothing but I clicked preview. If I click on this photo, the photo should open again in separate model. That means from this model, another model should open. It's not possible. We cannot handle that. That is not allowed. Those kind of nested models are not allowed from version 5. Earlier we used to design, but now they are not supported. So better don't use them, right? So this is one important. You cannot define nested models. It is not supported from version 5, right? This is example for models. These are models. One example I will copy here. This is the complete example for working with models, right? Yeah. So we have drop downs. Another one, we have models. Another important, we have spinners. Spinners are very simple. We have 2 options. We have a spinner grow. We have a spinner with the grow option. Only one sizes will be there. We have a spinner grow SM, or you can give what? LG. Spinners are nothing but, actually purpose of spinner is nothing but, so they are used to show the status of any task performed in page. So we have spinner and spinner grow. Actually, different two types are there. I will show you. I will take another file here. Spinners.html. Already in HTML we learned. In HTML we discussed about progress bar. There I told you we have spinners also. Just we have to put a button, or first I will show you a span. In the class you can just give the option as spinner. We have spinner grow. We have spinner border also. We have spinner border. Spinner grow is one style. Another style is we have spinner border. Spinner border is another one. In that also we have spinner border SM or LG. There are two styles of spinners actually. Spinners are used for showing the task. For example, you see here, I say spinner border. Okay. And you can see spinners will display in this way. Spinners are displayed in this way. That is a spinner. Usually what we do, we can keep any content inside it. Suppose I say 50%, it will show that. But generally we don't keep any content inside it. Just we keep outside. Suppose we say loading, then it will show the text loading. To keep in a better way, generally we do like this. What we do, we put in a button. In a button, it will be like this. And we need small size. Then we have spinner border SM, small size. We can change here. If you want to change the spinner color, only this color we can change. What we can do, we can put text danger. You can see the text color is changed. To change the spinner color, you can keep the text color. Or you can change like this. What you can do is for button. For button, you can simply apply the class BTN danger. Then it will display in this way. We can put spinners, or spinner have another style. Instead of ordinary border style, you can keep, instead of border, you can say grow. You can say spinner grow SM. Grow means it will be like this. This is grow style. We have just rotation style. We have just grow style. That is actually spinner grow. Only these two are there. Colors depending on text color. What text color you apply, that color will be applied to that. So these are usually used for showing the status. For showing status, we have spinner, grow style, another one border style. This is an example for that. How you can define the grow and border styles. This is one example for working with the spinner. Similar to spinner, you have another. They are very simple, only two classes. We have another one, progress. Actually, we have progress and progress bar. Progress bar. We have like progress bar stripped, and we have progress bar animated. These are the options. What is problem in HTML progress bar? In HTML also we can design a progress bar. The problem with HTML progress bar is it will not allow colors. It will not allow text inside. For example, we learned progress also here. Let's see. For example, I will give HTML progress. Just we have to put a progress, and HTML progress will display like this. In HTML progress, what you can do, we can define values like min. Min is equal to 1. Max is equal to 100. Value is equal to suppose 60. Now it is 60. I have to show 60% completed. You cannot add any text here. 60% completed. I cannot add any text. I have to add text either beside, left or right. I cannot add anything beside it. So, but what is speciality about Bootstrap? So you see Bootstrap progress. Bootstrap progress. In Bootstrap progress, we can simply put a div. It can have a class called progress. That means we can put progress. In this progress, we can create a progress bar. It's a progress bar. Progress bar. This progress bar, you can see usually progress bar looks like this. This progress bar, how much width you want, you have to define through style. Style width equal to suppose 20%. Then it will display like this. I can define, now I can define text 20% completed. And you can see it will display like this. Text inside. Not only that, you can put various colors. For this BG is width 80%, 80%. Okay, and here I can give 80%, 80% remaining. And you can see it will be like this. 20% completed, 80% remaining. We can add multiple, 3, 4, 5. Like suppose I given here 60%. And this is 60%. And rest of another percent I am giving here is, so suppose I am giving 20% and 20% BG danger, and I say, so 20%, 20%, 20% status unknown, like this I am giving. You can have multiple. Not only that, now you can see this is a plain status. This is a plain bar. You can add all your options, padding to some space. Sorry, where is the outline? Here itself. We will put here. You can add animated. If I want some animated, what we are doing, this is the span. Actually, this we have to put in a span. And the class padding to some gap will come. Similarly, others also you have to define. That means if you want some gap to configure, you can define in this way. But actually here, the special option is generally we can put progress bar stripped. It will display like this. Strips will come. I can use progress bar stripped everywhere. You can see progress bar stripped. All three are stripped progress here. And I can put here 60% remaining. I can put here progress bar animated. Animated will display like this. That means that portion will be rotating like this. You can see it is rotating like this. You have a progress bar, but it is limited. We can keep these progress bars, we can change dynamically and work with them. So this is another important, that is work percent, decrease the percent, that is your JavaScript. In JavaScript, you will see increasing percent, decreasing percent, and options. This is just a design of how you can create a progress bar, right? How do we configure the progress bar and how do we design the progress bar, right? That is basically working with the progress bars. Is it clear to everyone? Now, similarly, now one more very important, we have nav bars, designing of nav bars. That we will see in next session. Tomorrow we will do, right? Because you need to practice all this. These are too many again. By tomorrow we will finish Bootstrap, right? And we finish Bootstrap. Monday onwards we will start JavaScript. We will start JavaScript, working with the JavaScript. So navbar and 1-2 components more I will explain. Then others you have to try by yourself. That list I will give you what you have to try. And this we will start using in our JavaScript. Right? From Monday onwards, we will start JavaScript. Tomorrow we will finish Bootstrap. Then from Monday onwards, JavaScript.